Good morning, guys. 20th of January here in central Illinois. It is one cold day. Actual air temperature is 0 degrees, but no wind, so that makes it kind of nice. And if I've got my constitution about me here in about an hour, I'll go outside and do my 2.5 mile walk, but I will have to dress warm to get it done. I haven't missed any yet. I can't see that 0 degrees should slow me down any. But this is what we're up to so far on the motorized dump. We've got both cabs have been fabricated, and none of them mounted permanently. I just thought I'd show you how I do that. That is a rail that I soldered on the inside, and that allows me to take the roof and slide it onto the body. And I put those into my slip roller just to get a nice contour on them. I also wanted it with an overhang. I like how that looks with the overhang. So this is coming along. This is coming along real well. In fact, let's see if I can show you the. Here's the roof. I put these in my brake, my box brake, and we turn that lip off on it, and we hope everything lines up and it slides on. I don't mind it sliding on tight. I don't want it loose. So there's a formula for doing this stuff. I don't know that formula, so I measure it and I bend it and I roll it, and sometimes it is a perfect fit, and other times I have to trim and rebend and trim a little bit more. So, this one's for this particular one right here. And what I'm probably going to do for ease of putting together, I will probably take and spot solder this cab, get it exactly the way I want it. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to use a 3/48 screw, and I'm going to come down a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. And I'm going to drill that, go through both pieces of sheet steel. And then I can bolt this together, but I want to do it with it soldered, with a spot solder in place, so everything is registered and it stays that way after I unsolder it. So we'll see how that works. I've done it before. It's not a bad process, and it's easier for me to work on some of this stuff than to solder it and then have it's rigid. And then you've got lack of space, and my fingers are fat and numb, and it just solves me a lot of problems, but it does create a whole lot more work. The other thing, I'm wanting to put a door on these, and this is a Lionel 42 brass sliding door. And what I'm thinking about doing is getting it where I want it, putting it up here, and what they've done on this, it's embossed on the back side. Now what I would do is I would lay this door out, would mark it on the side here, then I'd measure in where the embossing is, and I would cut the base of the cab out so that this embossing lays inside of the hole, and the door itself would be completely and totally flat. Then what I would do is I would take the top and the bottom and would take a brass screw, cut the head off of it, 2 of them, solder one at the top, solder one at the bottom, drill my holes top and bottom, and drill them big enough that I can set and I can adjust this. Then I can set it right up here, like so. I can get it all registered real nice and tighten up the screws, and it would be permanent. Now, American Flyer and a couple other manufacturers did stuff like that, where all they did was they poked a hole and then they just put a cover over it. Well, and in this case, the window would be open. So it's something I'm thinking about. We'll see whether or not I do it. But a door on each side. I've got the mechanism threaded through the cab on this. It dumps, but it don't dump like I want, so I've got to do some adjustments. It's a stamped steel gear, and it rides real hard in that brass worm gear that it sits into. So I've got some work to do with that. The other thing that I'm doing is here we've got I'm going to make a trolley pole. Now this is telescoping tubing, so I don't know if you can actually see it or not. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. And I'll slide one inside of the other, then I'll cut it to length because I intend to put that somewhere right in here. And we would have two of them. And what it would do is it would come on each end, it would come to the center. So that's what I'm planning on doing that. I don't know if I'm going to, like I did with this, do the catwalk. I may just I just may attach it to the top like we did with this. This is I believe a reproduction volt amp trolley pole, very similar to what Prideline's used on theirs. In fact, I think it's the same thing. Somebody made a casting of it and sells them, and that's what I put on the Dayton Hill Climber there, which is a perfect size. This is more of the size I want to put on the automated, the self-propelled dump. So it's coming along. I've got here is a trolley pole collector that I made, and I made that specifically for this particular model here. But here's some stuff that I bought, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is a pulleys that I bought from a nautical supply, a boat building outfit, and these are absolutely perfect to put on that. And these are the holders. So I may use these pulley wheels. Should be two of them here. And I may use those. They're a little bit smaller for the trolley pole and have it set up that way. We'll just have to see. Anything that you do, there's always extra work to it. So the windows are coming along, but the windows are not yet to my liking. There's the frame. This is a Lionel insert. I may do it like this, or I may go and do it like Ives did. All Ives did on their one caboose was they put a strip of a small amount of sheet metal on the top, sheet metal on the bottom to give it a 3D effect. Easy, cheap, and it still gives a good impression of a window. We'll just have to see. I'll try stuff, then I change my mind and I try something different. So we'll see how far that goes. I went back to the truck that's on it now is a power truck that I manufactured. I may go ahead. I'm planning on making another one. I may make this a 2-power truck. This works good. Doesn't work quite as well as I liked it. There are other modifications that I started to do that I haven't done yet. But with weather at 0 degrees, I'll probably be doing a whole lot more with that stuff. So we'll go ahead, and I got some of my scratch built and kit bashed stuff set up. I don't know. I enjoy watching this stuff run after I've built it. Some of it runs really good. And hopefully this will be joining the fleet before much longer. And I can't decide if I want to put a cow catcher on it or not, quite frankly. The originals didn't have cow catchers. It's just that there was so much cab sitting over the end, but even the originals look just like this. The cab completely hangs out over the end of the main body, so it just looks a little bit odd. But it is how it is. So here we go. We'll do just a little bit of running. Thank God for that magnet. That's the only thing that keeps that cab in one spot. And this thing can beat feet if it has to. It can run pretty fast. That truck works well, but it needs to be fine-tuned. And I enjoy building those things, even though they can be a real hassle sometimes. I love this hill climber trolley. That's got a McCoy single motor in it out of a McCoy trolley, and it really runs well. I got a whole bunch of parts sitting in the post office, and of course today's a holiday, so it's closed. All right, that's it. Nothing fell off. Well, that's amazing in and of itself. I also have to do some work with these cabs. These cabs need to be pulled back and attached to the mechanism so that they're straight up and down. Otherwise, they lean forward. So this whole body will come off. I'll mark the back, drill through, and probably drill and tap it for a 440 somewhere in there, and pull it up there and pull it up tight. So that's where we're going with this stuff. It's coming along pretty good. It's definitely giving me something to do. So we'll leave it at that. Oh, hey, here, let me complain a little bit. I bought this a couple years ago. So it had the original light in it. Well, the other day I burnt the light out and I went to replace it. It's all tabbed together. So the only way I'm going to get to the light in there is to take these 4 tabs off of the bottom, twist them a little bit, and lift the top off. Now I'm debating as to whether or not I even want to do that. If you twist them just a little bit, they handle a whole lot more than being bent up and back. But I'd sure like to have a light in it. But I'd hate to screw it up just because of my vanity. But it looks good with a light burning in it. So just something else for me to think about in the near future. All right, guys, y'all have a safe Monday. For God's sakes, if you're going out, dress properly. You'll get frostbite here in Central Illinois really, really quick. So have a good one. We'll talk with you all later. Toodaloo.